God says, "Beloved soul, there are moments in life when something gently returns to your attention more than once, not to create pressure, but to invite you to pause and notice what you may have overlooked before. You may have seen similar thoughts, felt similar emotions, or come across moments that quietly asked you to slow down, yet you continued moving forward without giving them much space. This is not something to feel regret about. It is simply part of being human in a world that moves quickly. God says that sometimes a message does not reach you fully the first time because your mind is occupied, your heart is focused elsewhere, or your life is moving through a different phase. Yet when the time feels more aligned, that same message may return, gently asking for your attention again. Not because you did something wrong, but because you are now ready to understand it in a deeper way. Beloved soul, there have been many moments in your life when understanding arrived later than expected. Perhaps you heard advice that did not make sense at the time, yet months or years later, those same words suddenly felt meaningful. This is how awareness often works. It grows gradually, revealing clarity when your perspective is ready to receive it. God says that the message you are experiencing now is not about urgency or fear. It is about presence. It is about giving yourself a moment to truly listen, not with distraction, but with calm awareness. When you do this, you begin to notice how your thoughts and feelings connect with your experiences. Beloved soul, think about how often you move through your day without pausing to reflect. There are responsibilities, conversations, and constant movement that fill your time. Yet within all of that activity, there are quiet moments waiting to be noticed. These moments are where clarity often begins. God says that when you allow yourself to pause, you create space for understanding to appear. It does not require effort or struggle. It simply requires your willingness to be present with your own thoughts and experiences. Beloved soul, you are not being asked to change everything at once. You are not expected to have all the answers immediately. You are simply being invited to take a moment, to breathe, and to notice what is already within your awareness. God says that every time you return to a moment of reflection, you deepen your understanding of your own journey. You begin to see how your experiences have shaped your perspective, how your thoughts have evolved, and how your path continues to unfold. Beloved soul, there is something powerful about recognizing that you are allowed to slow down. You do not need to rush past every moment. You do not need to ignore the quiet thoughts that appear within you. These thoughts often carry insight that helps you see your life more clearly. God says that the message reaching you now is simply an opportunity. An opportunity to pause, to reflect, and to reconnect with the awareness that has always been within you. It is not something to fear or rush. It is something to experience with calm attention. Beloved soul, as you sit with this moment, you may begin to notice a sense of clarity forming. Not because everything suddenly becomes obvious, but because your mind has become quiet enough to recognize what was already there. God says that your journey is still unfolding, and there are many moments ahead that will bring deeper understanding. This moment is just one step in that journey, inviting you to listen with patience and openness. God says, "Beloved soul, there is a quiet moment that begins to form when you finally allow yourself to truly notice what has been present in your life all along." It is not something new suddenly appearing, but rather something familiar becoming clear for the first time. Many people spend so much time searching for answers outside themselves that they overlook the understanding that has been gently growing within them. When you pause and allow yourself to be fully present, you begin to see how much has already been revealed through your own experiences. God says that awareness does not arrive all at once. It unfolds slowly, like a light that gradually brightens a room. At first, you may only notice small details, subtle thoughts, or feelings that seem difficult to explain. But as you continue to observe with patience, those small details begin to connect, forming a clearer picture of your journey. What once felt confusing starts to make sense, not because everything has changed, but because your perspective has expanded. Beloved soul, there have been moments when your heart tried to guide you quietly. Perhaps you felt a gentle hesitation about a decision, or a calm sense of reassurance about a certain path. These feelings were not random. They were reflections of your inner awareness, offering guidance in a way that did not demand attention but simply existed for you to notice. God says that when you begin to trust these subtle signals, your understanding deepens. You no longer feel the need to search endlessly for certainty. Instead, you begin to recognize that clarity often comes from within, shaped by your experiences and your willingness to listen. Beloved soul, think about how many times you have looked back at a situation and realized that you already sensed the outcome before it happened. That quiet knowing is part of the awareness you are now beginning to notice more clearly. It has always been there, guiding you in ways you may not have fully recognized at the time. God says that the purpose of this message is not to overwhelm you with new information. It is to help you reconnect with what you already know deep within yourself. When you allow yourself to sit with your thoughts and feelings without rushing, you create space for that understanding to surface naturally. Beloved soul, there is no need to question every thought or analyze every feeling. Simply observe. Notice what comes to your mind, and allow it to exist without judgment. In this gentle observation, clarity begins to take shape. God says that as you continue to notice these moments of awareness, your confidence in your own understanding will grow. You will begin to trust your ability to navigate your journey, knowing that you carry the wisdom needed to move forward. Beloved soul, the journey you are on is not meant to be rushed or forced. It is meant to be experienced step by step, with each moment contributing to your growth. When you accept this, you begin to feel a sense of calm that replaces the need for immediate answers. God says that everything you have experienced so far has prepared you for this stage of understanding. The lessons you have learned, the challenges you have faced, and the reflections you have had all come together to shape your awareness. Beloved soul, as you continue to move forward, allow yourself to remain open to these quiet realizations. They may appear unexpectedly, yet each one brings you closer to understanding your path more clearly. God says that the message reaching you now is simply a reminder that clarity does not need to be chased. It appears when you create space for it. By allowing yourself to pause, to breathe, and to listen, you begin to see that the answers you seek have been forming within you all along. Beloved soul, trust that your journey continues to unfold in a way that supports your growth. The awareness you are beginning to notice is not. It is part of a deeper understanding that will continue to guide you forward. God says, Beloved soul, there comes a moment in your journey when something within you begins to shift so gently that you may not even recognize it at first. The thoughts that once felt scattered begin to settle, and the questions that once seemed heavy begin to feel lighter. It is not because everything around you has suddenly changed, but because your awareness has grown. You are beginning to see what was always there, quietly waiting for your attention. God says that many people spend a long time searching for clarity outside themselves, believing that answers must come from somewhere far away. Yet often, the understanding you are seeking has been forming within you through your own experiences, your reflections, and the lessons you have gathered along the way. It does not arrive all at once, but slowly, in moments when you allow yourself to pause and observe. Beloved soul, think about how your perspective has changed over time. Situations that once felt confusing may now seem clearer. Decisions that once felt difficult may now feel more natural. This is not. It is the result of your growth, your patience, and your willingness to keep moving forward even when things felt uncertain. God says that awareness grows when you stop trying to force answers and instead allow yourself to notice what is already present. When your mind becomes calm, you begin to recognize patterns in your life. You see how certain experiences connected, how certain moments shaped your understanding, and how your path has been guiding you step by step. Beloved soul, the clarity you are beginning to feel is not something new that suddenly appeared. It has been building quietly through your journey. Each lesson you learned, each challenge you faced, and each moment of reflection contributed to this understanding. God says that when you begin to trust this process, your perspective shifts from confusion to acceptance. You no longer feel the need to question every detail or rush toward immediate answers. Instead, you allow your journey to unfold naturally, knowing that understanding will continue to grow. Beloved soul, this stage of your journey is about recognizing your own inner wisdom. You have learned more than you realize. You have grown stronger than you once believed. And now, you are beginning to see your life with a sense of clarity that feels calm rather than overwhelming. God says that the moment you stop searching so intensely for answers is often the moment when understanding begins to appear. Not because you gave up, but because you allowed space for clarity to form. Beloved soul, there is something powerful about realizing that you are capable of understanding your own path. You do not need to have everything figured out at once. You only need to continue moving forward with patience and awareness. God says that as you continue listening with your heart, you will notice that your decisions begin to feel more aligned with who you are. You will feel a quiet confidence guiding you, helping you choose paths that bring peace and growth into your life. Beloved soul, trust that this understanding is only the beginning. Your journey is still unfolding, and there are more moments ahead that will deepen your awareness and strengthen your perspective. God says that you are not lost, and you are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be in your journey. Every step you have taken has brought you closer to the understanding you now feel. Beloved soul, allow yourself to embrace this clarity without rushing it. Let it guide you gently as you continue moving forward, knowing that your path is unfolding in a way that supports your growth. God says, beloved soul, there comes a moment in your journey when everything that once felt scattered begins to settle into a quiet sense of understanding. It does not happen through sudden answers or dramatic change, but through a gentle shift within you. The thoughts that once felt heavy begin to soften, the questions that once filled your mind begin to lose their urgency, and in their place a calm awareness begins to grow. This is the moment when clarity starts to feel natural rather than something you are constantly searching for. God says that throughout your journey, you have been learning in ways you may not have fully recognized. Every experience you lived through, every challenge you faced, and every moment of reflection you allowed yourself to have has contributed to this understanding. Even when things felt uncertain, something within you was quietly growing stronger. That growth has now brought you to a place where you can see your life with greater calm and acceptance. Beloved soul, the message you have been following was never about urgency or pressure. It was always about helping you reconnect with your own awareness. When you take a moment to reflect, you begin to see that nothing in your journey was wasted. Every step, even the ones that felt unclear, played a role in shaping the understanding you now carry. God says that peace is not something that appears only when everything around you is perfect. It is something that develops when you begin to trust the process of your life. When you stop trying to control every outcome and instead allow your journey to unfold naturally, you create space for peace to enter your thoughts. Beloved soul, there is a quiet strength within you that has been building over time. It is the strength that allowed you to continue moving forward even when you did not have all the answers. It is the strength that helped you learn from your experiences rather than be defined by them. And it is this strength that will guide you as you continue into the next chapter of your journey. God says that clarity often feels simple once it arrives. It does not overwhelm you with complexity. Instead, it brings a sense of ease, allowing you to understand your path without overthinking every detail. This simplicity is what makes it powerful. Beloved soul, as you sit with this moment, you may begin to feel a sense of calm that was not there before. The need to rush, the need to figure everything out immediately, begins to fade. In its place comes a quiet confidence that your life is unfolding exactly as it should. God says that trusting your journey does not mean that every moment will be easy. It means that even when challenges appear, you carry the understanding and strength to move through them with patience. This trust allows you to face the future without fear. Beloved soul, take a moment to recognize how far you have come. The path you have walked has shaped you into someone who is capable of understanding, reflecting, and growing. You are not the same person you once were, and that growth is something to be appreciated. God says that the future ahead of you still holds many opportunities for learning, connection, and peace. You do not need to chase them or force them to appear. Simply continue moving forward with patience, and they will unfold naturally. Beloved soul, the clarity you feel now is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of a new way of seeing your life. A way that is guided by awareness, supported by patience, and strengthened by trust. God says that as you carry this understanding with you, you will begin to notice how your thoughts become calmer, your decisions become clearer, and your path feels more aligned with who you are becoming. Beloved soul, trust that everything you have experienced has led you to this moment of understanding. And as you continue forward, allow this sense of peace to guide you toward the next chapter of your journey. If this message touched your heart, Type Amen in the comments and share this message with someone who may need a moment of peace today.